It's dark outside, but it's light in here. Chanukah is here.
We're all familiar with Mahadran food, Mahadran fill-in, and once the concept of Mahadran comes up by Chanukah, it doesn't really sound so unique. But once you look into the halachas, it's pretty clear that Mahadran by Chanukah is very unique. It's the only mitzvah where we have a Neri Shubeso, Mahadran, Mina Mahadran, 3 different levels to perform the mitzvah. The whole concept of Hiddur mitzvah that we find by other mitzvahs, which is only Hiddur mitzvah ad shlish, only to use an extra third of money to beautify the mitzvah. By Chanukah, it's much, much more, as we use many more candles throughout the holiday, much, much more than a third. And this even applies to the bracha, that you find that the halacha in Shulchan Aruch is that if a person forgets to make the bracha when he lights the first candle, was yotzei, the basic mitzvah of Neri Shebeso, nevertheless, if he forgot to make a bracha, he can make a bracha on the subsequent lighting of the candles, even though that's only part of the Hiddur. What comes out is that the concept of Mahadran by Chanukah candles is really much more part of the essence of the mitzvah than we find by other mitzvahs. And the question is why? And the answer seems to be is because if the Jewish people in the time of the Chanukah miracle did not fulfill the lighting of the candle in the most of the menorah in the most Mahadran way, so then the whole miracle never would have happened. Tumah Hutra B'tzibur could have allowed the Jewish people to use impure oil. The Beis HaLevi says they could have used smaller wicks and therefore saved oil. But it was only because the Jewish people tried to light the menorah with the purest oil, with the full wicks, in the most Mahadran way, did the miracle happen. And it's because of that Mahadran is so intrinsically connected to the mitzvah. But the question is, what were the Jewish people thinking? They didn't anticipate this mitzvah. Why did they approach the lighting of the menorah in the Beis HaMikdash with such hiddur? And the answer, I think, is because the Jewish people, what's unique about Chanukah is that the Jewish people were fighting for their mitzvos. Chanukah, the Jewish people went to battle for the sake of restoring Torah and mitzvos to the Jewish people. The Jewish people were assimilating. They weren't allowed to perform mitzvos and learn Torah in the way that they would. And the Chashmonaim said, we are going to fight. We are going to wage a war in order to try to stop the tide of assimilation and to try to restore the Jewish people to living their lives of Torah and mitzvos. When you go to battle, when you fight a war, you can't just be yotzei. You can't just I went out to battle, I tried a little bit, I was yotzei. When you try to go to battle and you try to win a war, you have to do it in the most extreme way. B'chol levavcha, b'chol nafshecha, b'chol ma'odecha. You have to really do it in the most Mahadran and extreme way. This is what the Chashmonim stood for, and this is what Chanukah is all about. And that's what's needed to fight the tides of assimilation, to restore the power of Torah and mitzvahs to the Jewish people. Our generation is no different, and assimilation is very strong. And may we all, this Chanukah, dedicate ourselves to be a little bit more Mahadran in our attempts to try to stop the tides of assimilation and restore Torah and mitzvahs to our nation.
Chanukah is here.